Alright, so I thought I'd make like a Meps video because Meps was like really scary for me. Like I had no idea what I was getting myself into. Like, like I had no idea. I had like a few friends that had been through it, and not very many people like remembered it because I've been through so much more. But um, Meps was Meps was interesting. Like I went through February 15th and 16th. Yeah, right after Valentine's Day. I flew from Klamath Falls to Portland. They paid for it to fly from Klamath Falls to Portland to go through Meps. And I got there and I had some trouble at the airport. Like none of the taxis wanted to drive me to Meps and stuff. And so I finally made it to Meps and I took my ASVAB. And I was like the first one in there. And he's like, oh, we're not taking ASVABs until 1:30. And it was like noon. I was like, what am I gonna do? He's like, you can go for a walk and come back. So I walked around downtown Portland by myself for a while. Kind of creepy. I found a Subway and I went and just chilled in there. And I called my mom. I was like, Mom, I made it, you know. And then I went back and took my ASVAB. I also met with my Air Force liaisons. They were really cool. Like I really liked them. My ASVAB, I got a 77 on it. Yeah, I got a 77, but I didn't find that out till way later. Well, till the next day, I think. Yeah. And then I went to the hotel where I met two other people out of my depth that I hadn't met yet. I hadn't met before. That I hadn't met before, and they like creeped on me a little bit. Jace and can't think of his name. But anyways, and like we hung out because we're from the same depth, so we're like, well, we should hang out. Anyways, we hung out, and I was the only girl for a really long time. And then my roommate, I had a Marine girl roommate. She was really chill. We spent all night talking. Like I know that's probably not a good idea because we got up at like 3 a.m., but we spent like most of the night talking. It was really cool. She wasn't crazy at all, trust me. I can't remember her name either, but it was really nice. Have a cool roommate. And then the next day, I went back to Meps. I got up, can't remember the time, really, really, really early. And I went and ate, and then waited for the bus, got on the bus, went to Meps. I went through a bunch of medical things, like I had my blood drawn, I had to pee in a cup, I had to do the duck walk, I had to do hearing things, I had to meet with the doctor, I had to do like a physical, like she like did like breast tumors, and she like listened to me breathe. She made sure I was a girl. That was kind of weird. And then I had to go through like another processing where it's like, you ever got any tickets, you ever gotten arrested, all that kind of stuff. And like it went really easy for me. Like I've never had any problems with anything. The doctor told me I was medically boring, which she said was a really good thing, and she told me to not listen to like really loud music because I have very good hearing. Okay, creep. Oh, I also had to read like a paragraph out loud, and I do a depth perception test and a vision test and stuff like that. And what else did I do? I don't know. Then I did a lot of waiting. Then I met with, like, for my, like, security clearance stuff, I met with a lady, but I didn't have, like, all the work, so she's like, well, you can do it when you come back. And then I met with my liaisons, like, 8 times. They loved me. They just wanted to see me so much or something like that. I don't know. What else? I made my job list. It was, like, 10 jobs. No, I did, like, 13 jobs is what I listed. Like, I had to list 10. And I had to list 5, and then I had to list more that I wanted. I got my 4th pick. Air traffic control. I also had to take, like, because I listed that job, I had to take, like, I had to take, like, an extra personality test. And then I had to fly back to Klamath Falls. And I missed my plane. I was supposed to fly out at, like, 4:15, and I got to the airport at 4:10. And you can't go through Portland Airport security in 5 minutes and make it to your plane. It ain't happening. And so one of the kids that I was with from Klamath Falls, he was flying into Medford, which isn't very far from Klamath Falls. But his plane wasn't until 9. And so, because he was like guard, and then he went active, And so he just went to Meps to rescreen. And so he already had, like, military ID and stuff. And so, like, we had to go and, like, switch my flights from, like, one airlines to another and, like, do it, like, really fast and stuff. And then I waited for 4 hours to get on the plane to go to Medford. Oh, my God, that was, like, the worst wait ever. I was, like, falling asleep. I was, like, in the chairs and stuff. But anyways, then I made it back. Without him, I wouldn't have made it back. Wait, what's his name? Weedle. Weedle was his name. That was his last name. I didn't know his first name. Weedle. But anyways, and I made it back, and then my recruiter called me, like, a few weeks later, maybe a month later. And I called her, and I was like, hey, I'm not going to go to college spring term. Can I move up my ship date? She's like, why would you want to do that? And I was like, well, I don't know. I'm not going to go to college. Like, I don't want to wait 3 months. And she's like, well, you booked. I was like, oh, I was so excited. I was, like, speechless. I was like, what did I book? She's like, you booked air traffic control. And I was like, oh, I was freaking out. And then she's like, I was like, well, when do I leave? She's like, June. Let me look. And I was like, oh my God, I leave in June. That is so soon. Because it's like February. Yeah, so it was like 4 months. And then she's like, you leave in June. And I was like, oh my God. She's like, yeah, June 26th. I was like, oh, so excited. And then all that day I was like jumping around for joy. And I was like calling my mom. I was like, Mom, I made it. Oh my God, ship date, Grandma, Auntie. I was so happy. Oh my gosh. But anyways, and then I met my recruiter like 4 weeks later to do like, to sign my contract. And I've only been to one DEP meeting. And they've been in DEP for 3 months now. But I don't know, it's weird. I have one next week. But anyways, I'm going to post some more videos, like, what I pack, why, and then, like, after, I'm going to do that, too, after how BMT was, because, you know what, I've looked up so much stuff, it's crazy. I've wanted to ask so many questions, like, I have actually asked so many questions. I have, like, this big binder that I have of, like, stuff to do with the Air Force. I don't know, I'm crazy. I just want to be prepared as much as possible. But anyways, until next time, subscribe to my blog.